So in the last video, I said we were going to move on to step 3 of building your personal brand. But before we do that, I thought it was a good idea to review steps 1 and 2. Step 1 is your why, and step 2 is your mission, vision, and values. And they're so important. So I wanted to make sure that we did a quick review before we went on to the next step, because just like building a home, you need to have a solid foundation to build from. And when you have a solid foundation for your personal brand, it makes communicating so much easier, and it also makes you more confident. So I thought it was a good idea for us to go back and review those 2 steps. So let's go ahead. So your why doesn't have to sound perfect or polished. It just needs to be honest. It has to be rooted in your truth. Ask yourself, why do I do what I do? And what impact do I want to make? When you can get clarity on these first 2 steps, everything else in your brand has meaning. It ties it all together. And just like we talked about in the step 1, in the video for step 1, we buy things and we're attracted to things and companies and products through emotions, not what somebody does. It's the why that we want to connect with and relate to. It's an emotional process. So it's so important. Hence the reason why I wanted to revisit this. So step 2 is clarifying your mission, vision, and values. And, that's a big one, right? Because it's your mission. What are you doing now to make your vision that you have come to life? So my mission is guiding women through a step-by-step process to get them to that next chapter. So vision is the big picture. It's what you want to bring to life. So for me, the long-term change that I want to make, my vision is to help women over 40 and 50 step into this new chapter with confidence and a personal brand that really helps them connect the dots of who they were, who they are, and who they're becoming. That is so important for me. That's the vision that I have. Values are your compass. They're the principles that guide you in everything that you do. Your values are so important, and that's another thing that people are going to be attracted to you, is not only the emotional why, but also your values. We want to work with people that we know, like, and trust, so that they have the same values as we do. That's why this is so important, the foundational part, and and why I'm really stressing and making these videos is because I get a lot of people that come to me that want to build their brand, and they think that with a website or a logo and photos, they're ready to go. But the most critical part is this foundational piece, because as I mentioned before, like building a house, you have to start with the blueprint. You create that foundation, and then the other pieces are what hold it up, and that's your values, your mission, and your vision. Once you have that, the rest of it is so much easier, and you're way more confident because you're coming from a core place of who you are, and that is your brand DNA. And that's the part that is the most critical. And once you have that, the other pieces are, getting your target audience, the other steps that we're going to go through, and, what is going to be your content strategy, how you're going to communicate all of that expertise. So this part is critical, the foundation. So I'm glad that we were able to recap these last 2 steps. And we are going to move into the next video is going to be step 3, and that's going to be your target audience, which is super important. But now that you have your brand foundation, you're going to be able to go to step 3 with confidence, and we're going to talk about why your target audience is so important and getting to know them on a deeper level so that when you are communicating to them, you'll be able to have your messaging that speaks directly to their pain points and how they communicate. So I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe and like, and leave comments with any questions. Thank you.